One of the features that comes with Office 365 is the ability to download and install the Office 365 Pro Plus suite. Now, in order to do that, you have some ability from an administrative point of view to decide, do you want to allow users to do it on their own, or is it something that you're going to control completely? We have the ability to stop it, or we can grant it. That's really all we're going to be doing here for a user side of deployment. In another video, we'll look at an IT managed deployment. If I wanted to control it, right here in the Administrative Center, I'm going to go into my settings. So we're going to scroll down here and go into settings. In the settings section, I have the ability to go in here and look at my services and add-ins, right? So I'm going to click on that. Oops, something went wrong, and this happens occasionally with 365. Just be aware of that if you get one of these kind of errors, that oftentimes all you need to do really is go back to the home screen and go back in, and it usually corrects itself. So we'll go in here and we'll just click to the settings again, go to service and add-ins, and there you see it fixed itself, right? So don't let one of those interface glitches bother you. Just go back out and come back in, and usually it corrects itself at that point. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I want to look now at my Office download settings, right? So here I have my Office software download settings that I'm going to go in here and actually look at. So I'm going to click on that, open it up, and it'll bring up the new page. This is where we control whether users are going to be allowed to download and install one of their 5 available licenses for the Office 365 Pro Plus suite. And you can see right now we have the 2016 version. The 2013 version has now been deprecated. It's no longer available as part of the Pro Plus suite. You can turn that on or off. By off, now anybody going into the portal, they won't have access to the Office 2016 suite. I'll go ahead and turn that back on. Notice that we can also decide whether we want to make SharePoint Designer and Skype for Business as standalone products available or not in the portal there. We also have the ability for those users to make some choices for those users in terms of which update cycle they want. Do we want them to get every single update and security patch as soon as possible, as well as any of the feature updates, right? So every month, current channel, or do we want the deferred channel where they'll get the security updates on a regular basis, but they'll only get the feature updates about every 4 months. So you get to make that choice there as well. You'll note we have a separate section for Mac, right? So we also have the ability for them to download the Mac version as well within that suite. And you can make those same choices there with the Mac. So we'll go ahead and we'll assume that the users are allowed to install it, and we've allowed them to do it. Now what happens is for a user, when they log in, they logged into the portal, they'll actually have the ability to go out there and install the Office 2016 suite. So we'll go out here and just click on it. Now this is going to say, okay, good, just a few minutes, we're going to get this to run. It's actually deploying what's called click-to-run technology, which is a package deployment model. It's not like an MSI install where it's going in and installing everything in my registry and it's integrating with the system. It's more like an isolated package in this click-to-run environment. So I'm going to go ahead and allow this to run, the click-to-run environment. It's going to download that to my system, and it's going to get things ready so I have the ability to actually run the product. So I need to let this actually go out there and run. I can go ahead and close the few more steps here, right? We're going to stay online while it's downloading and getting things ready for me, right? So we're going to make sure that we're doing that. Now it's going to start installing the Office suite for me. Now, when you were doing a standard installation, say from media, and I'm going to go ahead, I don't even need to leave that open, right? I can actually keep an eye on it and see how long it's installing in the background. I can see I'm at about 22% right now, right? I have the ability to let that run in the background while I'm doing other things. If I were installing the old from a CD or DVD, I'd probably start the installation process and walk away, right? And maybe in a half hour or so come back and I'd see that the installation was complete. The neat thing with the click-to-run deployment model is it actually streams what we consider to be the most important bits first. Those bits come down to the machine, and even before the entire product has been downloaded and installed, usually in just a few minutes, I would have the ability to start actually using Word. I could actually open it up and start working with it. We're at about 28% now. Typically, that download point where we start seeing those options show up within the client is somewhere around 31, 32%, but let's take a look and see if we've actually got it here yet. Right, I'm just going to type in the word Word here, do a search there, and look, I've got my desktop app ready to go. It's actually downloading it right now, but I'm going to go ahead and be able to launch this product even though it's not fully installed yet. It's going to go out there. Notice it said, and it was hard to catch because it flashes by pretty quickly, but it said streaming the required features, which means a few of the things it needed weren't there yet, but it went ahead and grabbed those in the download so that those were available and we can actually start working with our Office 2016, even though it's still downloading some of the product. And with your users, when they download the software, right, and they install it, you're going to want a little bit of administrative control over what's going on and who has it installed where. Because remember, each user has the license for 5 desktop installations, right? If I go to my users, let's go over here and look at my active users. And in my active users, let's just pick on, say, Carlos for right now. I'm going to go open up Carlos's settings. I can actually scroll down, and we'll go ahead and minimize that for now. I can scroll down here, and then see I have this Office installs. I can actually edit to see where Carlos might have it installed. Now, Carlos doesn't have it installed anywhere right now. Let's go see what Ethan's done. If I go and look at Ethan's installs, I can actually see that Ethan has it installed in a few places. And if I wanted to, I could deactivate one of those installations, right? So Ethan will no longer have it available there. What happens then is it goes into what's called that reduced functionality mode, where Ethan could use it to actually view things, print things, but could not create or modify items with it, with the Office suite. And that gives us that ability to go out there and control where it's installed to make sure we have a license available if we were going to say, for example, push that out through an IT-driven deployment model.